Good morning. I am Divyajyoti, lecturer in computer engineering from Pandit J.R. Government Polytechnic College, Hoshiarpur. Today we are going to learn about the use of various image processing tools. First of all, let's have an introduction with image processing. Image processing or image editing is a method to convert an image into digital form and perform some operations on it in order to get an enhanced image or to extract some useful information from it. Image editing actually encompasses the processes of altering images or manipulating images. Purposes of image processing include visualization, that means observing the objects that are not visible or that are not clearly visible in the image. Image sharpening and restoration to create a better image. Image retrieval to seek for the image of interest. Measurement of pattern to measure the various objects in an image. And last purpose is image recognition, that is to distinguish the objects present in an image. Image processing basically includes following three steps. First is importing the image with optical scanner or by digital photography. That means the image which is to be processed using the image processing tools, that has to be imported using some optical scanner or by digital photography. Second is analyzing and manipulating the image. And last step is the output, in which the result can be an altered image or the report that is based on the image analysis. Before discussing the various image processing tools, let's have an introduction with the various categories of images with which these tools deal. They can be categorized as raster images and vector images. Raster images are composed of pixels. They are also called as bitmap images. On the other hand, vector images are composed of paths. We can differentiate between these two graphics as bitmaps. They are composed of pixels. A bitmap image uses a grid of individual pixels where each pixel can be of a different color or shade, while the vector graphics are composed of paths. They use mathematical relationships between points and the paths connecting them to describe an image. They make use of geometric primitives such as points, lines, curves, shapes, polygons, etc. So this image shows an example of a raster image which is composed of a grid of individual pixels, and this image represents a vector graphic which is composed of paths, that is the points and lines which are connected to each other. Common raster image formats include BMP, that is Windows Bitmap, Paintbrush, TIFF, JPEG, GIF, PNG, Portable Network Graphics, PSD, which is the native file format of Adobe Photoshop, CPT, that is Corel Photo Paint. And similarly, the common vector formats include EPS, that is encapsulated PostScript, WMF, Windows Meta File, Adobe Illustrator files, Corel Draw files, DXF, SVG Scalable Vector Graphics, PLT Hewlett Packard Graphics Language Plot File. So these are some examples of the raster image file formats and vector image file formats. The larger you display a bitmap image, the more jagged it appears. On the other hand, vector images can be scaled up or down without any loss of quality. High resolutions and greater color depths produce bigger file sizes in case of raster images. That means due to the high resolutions and greater color depths, the size of the raster image files increases a lot. But in vector images, they do not need to keep track of each individual pixel in an image, so only mathematical descriptions are there. For this reason, vector files are very small in size. Now, image processing tools are software tools that are used to create, edit or manipulate, enhance, transform and redesign the images. These tools can be broadly grouped into three categories. First is raster graphics editors, vector graphics editors and 3D modelers. So the tools which are used for creating, modifying, editing, manipulating, transforming or redesigning the images, those tools can be categorized as raster graphics, vector graphics editors and 3D modelers. Raster graphics editor is a computer program that allows users to paint and edit pictures or images interactively on the computer screen and save them in one of many popular raster formats such as JPG, PNG, GIF and TIFF. These editors can change the pixels to enhance the image in many ways. The pixels can be changed as a group or individually by the sophisticated algorithms within the image editors. They are often used to alter photographs and other raster graphics, and they are more suitable for retouching, that is altering the image, photo processing, photorealistic illustrations, collage and illustrations drawn by hand with a pen, tablet. A most popular example of raster graphics editor is Adobe Photoshop. Vector graphics editor is a computer program that allows users to compose and edit vector graphic images interactively on a computer and save them in one of many popular vector graphics format such as EPS, PDF, WMF, SVG or VML. Each element is created and manipulated numerically in these editors, essentially using Cartesian coordinates, that is x and y coordinates, for the placement of key points, and then a mathematical algorithm to connect the points and define the colors. Vector editors are often better for page layout, typography, for logo design, for sharp-edged artistic illustrations like cartoons, clip arts, complex geometric patterns, technical illustrations, diagramming and flowcharting. Common examples are CorelDRAW, Adobe Illustrator, EasyCopy, Zara Photo and Graphic Designer, Macromedia Freehand, Adobe Fireworks, Inkscape. These are the examples of vector graphics editors. 3D modelers. The 3D computer graphics software refers to programs which are used to create 3D computer generated imagery. They allow users to create and alter models via their 3D mesh, that is 3-dimensional mesh. Users can add, subtract, stretch and otherwise change the mesh to their desire. Models can be viewed from a variety of angles, usually simultaneously, and they can be rotated and the view can be zoomed in and zoomed out using these modelers. Various image editing software are available in the market. Here is a list of some of the image editing software. First is Pixelmator. It is a fast, powerful image editing software for the Macintosh operating system. Intuitive and beautiful graphical user interface it has. It supports for layers to organize your document, a large assortment of painting tools and simple to use photo correction tools. Second is Inkscape. It is an open source vector graphics editor much like Adobe Illustrator, CorelDRAW and Zara X. Its default file format is web standards compliant scalable vector graphics. This diagram or this figure shows the interface for the Inkscape. Photoshop, it is a well known and the mostly used image editing software. It is a image editing program which is developed and published by Adobe Systems. Photoshop works on computer systems like Windows and Macintosh, widely used by photographers for photo editing like fixing colors, reducing noise, adding effects in the images, fixing brightness or contrast in the images, and by graphic designers and web designers to create and change images for web pages. Photoshop has the ability to read and write raster as well as vector image formats such as .eps, .png, .gif, .jpeg. Fireworks is also Adobe's image editing software for the web designers. It excels in several areas over Photoshop, namely workspace environment that is optimized for web designers. It is also a raster and vector hybrid, that is it can be used for both raster and vector images. being able to work with raster based images and vector based graphics better than Photoshop. GIMP stands for GNU Image Manipulation Program, is a feature packed and powerful open source image editor that can be used in all major operating systems like Linux, Macintosh and Windows. It has a customizable interface so that you can easily set the view and behavior of the editor. It has a huge set of retouching tools that will allow you to perform advanced image retouching and manipulation. This outputs your work in many common formats, that is JPG, GIF, PNG, TIFF and even PSD, which is the native file format of Photoshop. Now let's have an introduction to Photoshop. It is a graphics editing program developed and published by Adobe Systems. Primary strength of Photoshop is as a pixel based image editor, that is raster image editor, unlike vector based image editor. However, it also enables the creation, incorporation and manipulation of vector graphics through its tools such as paths, pen tools, shape layers, type tools, import, command and smart object functions. So Photoshop supports both these raster image editing as well as vector image editing. These tools and commands that are available in Photoshop for vector images, they are convenient to combine pixel based, that is raster images, and vector based images in one Photoshop document. Photoshop uses color models such as red, green, blue, grayscale, binary, bitmap and duotone. The default file extension for Photoshop files is .psd, which stands for Photoshop document. A Photoshop document file stores an image with support for most imaging options available in Photoshop. These include layers with masks, transparency, text, alpha channels, spot colors, clipping paths and duotone settings. PSD file has a maximum height and width of 30,000 pixels and a length limit of 3 GB. Photoshop files sometimes have the file extension .psb, which stands for Photoshop Big, also known as large document format. This PSB file extends the PSD file format, increasing the maximum height and width to 3 lakh pixels and the length limit to around 4 exabytes, which is equivalent to 1 billion gigabytes. This figure shows the various file formats which are supported by Photoshop, like BMP, GIF, DCM, Photoshop EPS, Photoshop DCS 1.0, DCS 2.0, JPG, large document format, that is .psb, .pcx, Photoshop PDF, Photoshop RAW, PICT files, PNG files, portable bitmap files, Targa files, TIFF files. So this is a list of various file formats which are supported by Photoshop. That means you can deal with or you can edit images with any of these extensions, or you can also save your images which are created or edited in Photoshop by using any one of these extensions. There are various versions of Photoshop. In 1988, the version 0.63 was there. In 1989, 0.87, and in so on. And in 2002, the version 7.0.1 was in the market. After that, the versions beginning from 8.0 till 14.0, they are given the name Creative Suite. So in 2003, Creative Suite, that is the version 8.0 came. In 2005, Creative Suite 2, that is the version 9.0 came, and the current version is Creative Cloud, that is 14.0, which came in June 2013. Photoshop is available in a variety of languages like Brazilian, Chinese, English, Danish, Dutch, Greek, Arabic. So there are this is available in so many languages. How to start using Photoshop? For that, you have to go to the Start menu and point to All Programs. Click on the Adobe Photoshop Photoshop window will be displayed, which will look like this. So this window represents the Photoshop workspace, which consists of various components. Like at the top is the title bar, below that is the menu bar, which contains various menus. Just below the menu bar is the options bar, which is specific to the tool which is selected from the tools palette. On the left hand side is the tools palette. On the right hand side are the various palettes which are docked, and here these are also the palettes which are in the form of icons. You can also expand them and dock them by clicking on this double arrow. In the center is the document window, and the white area shows the canvas on which your image will be drawn. So this is the document window. Various components of the document window are shown here. Here is the title bar. You will give the name of the document, then the zoom, that is it is 100% zoomed, then the color mode which is used for the document. On the right hand side are the window control buttons for minimizing, maximizing and closing the window. In the center is the canvas, which is the drawing area where your image will be placed. At the bottom of the document window is the document statistics box. Here you can display the various properties like document sizes, document profile, document dimensions, whatever you want to display. The menu bar across the top organizes the commands under various menus. In Adobe Photoshop, there are menus: file, edit, image, layer, select, filter, analysis, view, window and help. File menu is where you find many of the standard options you would expect in the program, such as opening, closing and saving documents. You can see the commands which are available under the file menu: new, open, browse, open as smart object, open recent. Edit menu, the commands under edit menu are shown here. Image menu, the commands are mode, adjustment, duplicate, apply image, calculation, image size, canvas size. Commands under layer menu like new, duplicate layer, delete layer, layer properties, layer style. Select menu. Filter menu, it deals with filters. Analysis menu, it provides you a ruler tool, count tool. View menu, for zooming in, zooming out, or for fit on screen, actual pixels, print size. Window menu, it lists the various workspaces and the palettes in this. Help menu, where you can go or press F1 for the Photoshop help. We can also define set of menus. That means we can define which menu items we want to include under our menus, or if we want to change any make any changes into those menus, like in the color of the menu items, then we can define that. For that you have to go to edit menu and select menus, or you go to window menu, workspace and then keyboard shortcuts and menus and click the menus tab. In the keyboard shortcuts and menus dialog box, choose a set of menus from the set menu. Photoshop default is the only option until you create a new set. Now you have to choose the type of menu, that is application menus or palette menus. Then click the triangle next to a menu from where you can hide or show menu items and add color to a menu item. To save all the changes to the current set of menus, click the Save Set button, and to create a new set based on the current set of menus, click the Save Set As button. In the Save dialog box, enter a name for the set and click Save. So these are the screenshots which will show the steps. First of all, you will go to the Edit menu. Here is the command menus. After clicking over here, a dialog box named keyboard shortcuts and menus will be displayed. So from the set By default, or if you have not created any set, Photoshop default will be the only option. Then you will select the menu for here, whether you want to select application menus or palette menus. After selecting application menus, the following list of menus has been displayed, like file, edit, image, layer, select. All the menus are shown here. Now you will click on the triangle which is just in front of the menu name. After clicking over here, it will list all the menu items which are included under that menu, like new, open, browse, open as. On the right hand side is the visibility button. That means if you want to hide or show the menu item, you will click over here. If you want to change the color of the item, you can click over here. For example, here I have changed the color of the menu item new. After saving, if you want to save this set, you will click here. If you want to save as, you will click here. After that, you will press OK, and this will be the output. Now the color of the menu item new is changed to red. This is how we define the set of menus. Options bar, just below the menu bar, it is the content sensitive display of tool options. Changes as different tools are selected. Can be displayed using window options. That means if it is not displayed in your workspace, you can go to the window menu and select the options. Tools palette, which is placed on the left hand side, along the left side of the interface. If this is not present, you can choose go to the window menu and then choose the tools. This toolbox is where we go when we want to select and create images. Palettes, on the right side of the workspace, we have an area for palettes. They are a series of smaller windows. Each palette or window serves a specific function. In general, the palette area is where we go when we want to manipulate the images. Like here, various palettes are shown, like colors, swatches, styles, layers, channels, paths, navigator, histograms. All these are the palettes which are docked, and these are the palettes which are in the form of icons. Now we can save, delete and switch between the workspaces. By saving the current size and position of panels or palettes as a named workspace, we can restore that workspace even if we move or close a panel. The names of saved workspaces appear in the window menu under the workspace menu. The workspace menu also appear in the options bar, and when you will click over here, a drop down menu will open and it will list the various workspaces present in your document or your document, like untitled one, default workspace, basic, legacy. How to save a customized workspace? You will go to the window menu, go to workspace and then save workspace, or choose save workspace from the workspace menu directly in the options bar. A dialog box will appear, like you will click over the workspace menu in the options bar. Here is the option for save workspace. When you will click over here, a dialog box will appear. Here you will give the name of your workspace. Then in the capture, you can select one of the three options, like palette locations, it saves the current palette locations. Keyboard shortcuts, it will save the current set of keyboard shortcuts. Menus, it will save the current set of menus. And finally, selecting all these options, you will click over the save button. You can also switch between the workspaces. For that, you have to go to window menu, then workspace and select a workspace, or you can directly select from the options bar. Similarly, to delete a custom workspace, you can go to the window menu, then workspace menu, or you can also directly go to the options bar, select the workspace drop down menu and click over the delete workspace. Next is how to create a new document in Photoshop. click on the file menu and select new. A window will be displayed which will look like this, new. Here you will give the name of your new document and select from the preset the various type of document you want to create. After that, the color mode, RGB or grayscale, background contents, that means the color of the background, if you want to keep it white, transparent or gray. After that, you will click over OK. Preset is a drop down menu that allows us to choose from some previously defined document types. The various previously defined document types are like clipboard, default Photoshop size, US paper, international paper, photo, web, mobile and devices, film and video. And also you can customize. If you choose customize, you can fill the value for width and height according to here, width and height according to your desire. After clicking over OK, a window like this will open. Here is the blank document that you have created. How to open files, that is the images which you have imported or that you have saved on your system and you want to open those files in Photoshop. What are the steps for those? We can open files using the open command and open recent command. To open a file using the open command, you have to go to file menu, then select open, then select the it will open a dialog box and you have to select the name of the file you want to open. Click on the button open. If you want to open a recently used file, again you will have to go to file menu, select open recent, and a sub menu will be displayed listing the recently opened files and you will select a file from that sub menu. To specify the file format in which to open a file, if a file was saved with an extension that doesn't match its true format, then you will go to file menu and click on the open as and select the file you want to open. Then choose the desired format from the open as pop-up menu and click on the button open. You can also open PDF files, or you can also import PDF files into your Photoshop documents. When we open a PDF file in Photoshop, we can choose which pages or images contained in the PDF file to open. For that, you have to go to file menu, click on open. If the in the open dialog box, select the name of the file and click on the button open. Under select in the import PDF dialog box, you will select the pages or images and then click the thumbnails to select the pages or images you want to open. If you want to select more than one page or image, you can press shift and click, then click OK. It will import the particular image or page from the PDF file into your document. We can also import the PDF data using the place command, the paste command or the drag and drop feature. So this screenshot shows you for opening the PDF file. First of all, you will click over file, then go to open menu, item. After clicking over here, a dialog box will open. You will select the particular PDF file and click on the open button. Here the import PDF dialog box will be opened. Now from the select, you can select either pages or the images you want to import into your document, Photoshop document. Here is the thumbnail size. These images may be in the small thumbnail size, large or fit page. After selecting more one or more pages, you will click over here OK button and your image will be imported in the Photoshop document. Placing files. The place command adds a photo, art or any Photoshop supported file as a smart object to your document, which can be scaled, positioned, skewed, rotated or wrapped without degrading the image. For using or for placing the files, you have to go to file menu, select the place command and select the file from the place dialog box which you want to place in your Photoshop document. The placed image appears inside a bounding box. at the center of the Photoshop image. Click on the image and drag it where you want to place it within the canvas. So this screenshot shows how an image is placed in the Photoshop document. This is surrounded by a boundary